Hello everyone, this is Karen from Sew and Save, and I'm here at the Ponderosa in my sewing studio, and we are here for month 10, October, of our Sew What block of the month. Every month we meet at Sew and Save in Racine, Wisconsin on the third Monday of every month to get together and work on our block of the month and see all kinds of new things and get together and chat and things. So this year we are working from our Deb's Build a Quilt workbook. Couldn't get that out this time. And we are on month 10. So that is page 16 in our workbook. We are going to be using our kitty corner ruler, which we use every month, as well as our quilt in a day ruler. And we're going to make some half square triangles with that this month. So this is our block. It has a 4-patch in the center, half square triangles in each of the middle of each row, and then our kitty corner blocks are on the corner of our block this month. So I'm going to set this down here because I don't have my big board with me today. And let me show you what you need to cut in order to make this block. We're going to start out with our background, and you're going to need some rectangles. And these rectangles are going to be used, and Bailey's going to help us, and she's going to walk right in front. There we go. So we're going to use these in each of our kitty corner blocks. Then we're going to have a big background square. That's going to be the other half of your half square triangle. Then our lavender block, the lavender block is actually my beige piece, and that is part of our 4-patch in the center. Then we're going to need our purple, and the purple is the blue on mine, and it starts out with 4 big squares, and those are used in the corners of our kitty corner blocks. Yep, Bailey, in the corner of those. Then we are going to need 2 smaller squares, and they're going to go together with the other 2 small squares in the center to do that 4-patch in the center. And then you need 2 large squares to go along with those background squares that you cut to make your half square triangles. Get all of those cut, and we're going to start out this month with our kitty corner block. So we'll see you back at the cutting table in a second. Our first step this month is to make our kitty corner blocks. So I have my purple, they're called purple in your book, my purple squares folded in half diagonally, and I'm going to use the step 1 portion of our kitty corner ruler and lay my dashed line from the block A right along the folded edge and trim. This is going to be waist, and we have our kite blocks in the making here. Alrighty, we're going to make 4 of those. They're going to be pretty good size this month. They go in each corner of our block. And 1 more. There we go. I'm going to open those up and put them on my design board so that I can carry them back to my sewing machine when I'm done here and sew them together. Put 1 more down here. And we'll nudge 1 more up over here. Right there. Alrighty. Now I have my 4 background rectangles. I have mine 2 sets of 2 with them laying wrong sides together. I'm going to use the section B portion of my ruler, put that little dog-eared corner right up in the left-hand corner of your block. The straight line goes down the left-hand side of your block as well, and you're going to trim. I'm just going to flip this guy over so that these points are facing the same, and we're going to go to step 3, line up step 3 in that little right hand corner and dog ear those points. There we go, just like we do every month. All right, we are now ready to put these on, and I'm going to pull this a little bit closer so I can flip this, and I'm going to sew these to the right hand side of my kite block using a 1/4 inch seam, and then I am going to press toward the background block away from the kite. Oop, can't get a hold of that one. Okay, these we're going to use on the other side when we bring them back, and we're going to stitch and press. As you can see, I have all of these stitched, and they are all pressed away from the center block A, which is your kite piece. Now I'm going to add my second side to the left side of all of these. Again, I will stitch at a 1/4 inch, press away from the center block A or your kite block, and then we will bring it back and trim it down to size. I have all of my blocks sewn, and the seams are pressed away from the center unit A, the little kite block, and they are sitting in front of me with the smallest points pointing away from me. I'm going to lay my trim 1 portion of the ruler so that that little V just connects right into that corner, and the diagonal line comes straight down through that point on the other side. So I'm going to get that just right. And we now know how important that little cut is in getting those points to line up right in the corner of our blocks. So make sure that you take a second and just double check, make sure that's laying just right. Trim and trim. Because you don't want to cut off those points, and you want those points to line up right in the corner of your block as you're sewing them together. Oops, it's a little hard to go upside down and backwards and around the camera. There we go. And one more. And again, make sure that diagonal line goes straight through the point of the other side of your block, and trim. Okay, close that up, and I'm going to flip my blocks around. Those out of the way, and make our last cut, and our blocks will be just perfect. And we are going to line these up on the 4 right here. So that dotted line on the 4 goes right along the edge that you just trimmed, and you're going to trim again. There we go. Did I get that point? I did not. I didn't feel like I did. There we go. Perfect. I hope these are getting easier for you every month, and I hope your blocks are turning out well so that they all line up in the corners as you're stitching your blocks together. It seems like every time I do this, it gets a little bit better every month. So we've been doing these for a while now, haven't we? Okay, and my last one. Now I'm going to set these aside, and we're going to go on to our next block. So let's get these out of the way. They are so pretty. Ooh, love them. They look just perfect. Set those over there, get rid of our scraps. And now we're going to work on half square triangles. So you're going to take your dark purple squares. You should have 2 of them, along with 2 corresponding background squares. I've drawn a line diagonally through my background squares. I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch on either side of that line, and then I'm going to trim on that line. Come back, and we're going to use our flying geese, or not our flying geese ruler, but our half square triangle ruler to square them up to be perfect right there. All right, we're going to stitch trim, and come back and use the ruler to square them up. I have my block stitched, and then I trimmed on the line that I drew, and now it's time to trim them down. We want them to be 4.5 inches, so I take my Quilt in a Day ruler and I use the 4.5 inch line, this little red dotted line, and I line that up right on the line that I stitched. And there's not much here to trim, but just a little bit, and that little bit will make everything perfect. So I'm just trim there, pick up my ruler, set it back down. I have them all laying in front of me so that the widest part of the triangle is facing me, and the point is facing away from me. So I can just trim these up to be just perfect. So this is going to make these 4.5 inches unfinished when we're done. At this point, I'm going to go and I'm going to press them open, and I'm going to press my seam toward the dark side. And then we'll be ready to put our center together, and our block will be all ready to assemble. That was fast and easy. I have my 4 kitty corner blocks finished up. I have my 4 half square triangles finished, and they're all pressed toward the dark side and all ready to go into my block. And now I'm going to do my little center, and our center is just a simple 4 patch. So I'm using a beige and a blue, and they're having you use a light lavender and the purple. So we're going to go, I'm just going to go like this. I'll sew these two together. I think I'll press them probably towards the blue on this one, and then nest them together and press. I might press them open when I'm finished on this last seam right here, just to reduce the bulk in the center. Alrighty, I have my 4 patch all done and ready to go. I pressed my seams toward my blue side, and then that last seam I just pressed open, and it makes everything nice and flat and looking good. So alrighty, now we're going to use the picture to line everything up, and it's time to sew it together. That was quick, right? So these guys are all going this way around it. I just use the book and match up the picture, and then instead of putting the narrow point down and these guys up, you're going to put the wide part of your kitty corner block to the corner, and then these are just going to point out. So I'm going to stitch each row, and then the center row I'll press toward the center, and the top and bottom I will press out. And then we'll come back and take a look at the block when it's all done. And here is our beautiful block. I have 2 cats running around my table. Here's Gizmo to show you what our block looks like. So I have, so this was our top and bottom. Like you can see, the last 2 rows that I sewed, I pressed going out, and the top I pressed going out, the center in, and the bottom out. So that pressed that all up nice, and our block is ready to go in our quilt. Until next time, this is Karen from Sew and Save, and this is our block of the month for our Sew What Club that meets the 3rd Monday of every month. So until next month, see you soon. Bye.